Geordies, welcome back to another episode, and I come with not one, but two bits of breaking news for you. We're going to be parking scout reports to a side because I want to talk about this because I really don't know how I feel about it, and I think this is going to have mixed emotions amongst the fan base, but I believe we've got one of the nicest crests in the Premier League at the moment, and it looks like that could be changing because our very own Craig Hope has come out and said Newcastle United are set to change their club crest, a Mike Ashley-esque betrayal or a fresh start for a busy badge. Now, this is going to touch a little nerve with the majority of supporters, in my opinion, because our crest is iconic. It's a symbolize of exactly what Newcastle United is. I've grew up through the 90s just loving this club crest, and I've continuously said we have the nicest crest in the Premier League. I generally think it's beautiful. So personally, I don't think it needs changing, but I can understand why we want to move with the times and possibly change it. And the club have come out with a statement, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this because, look, I love the crest. I don't think there's much wrong with it, but I understand the modern era, the sponsorships, the kit makers will all be complaining about this crest because it's not easy and functional and simplistic and efficient to produce and to put on kits and to make merchandise with. So I get it. I honestly get it. But how man, look at it. It's a beautiful sight. But the club have come out and said, as our club grows on the global stage, that's exactly what that first sentence just summarizes exactly what the rest of the piece is going to say. The symbol that represents us needs to keep pace. It needs to show up clearly and confidently across everything from kits to screens to merchandise. So we've been asking ourselves, how well does our current crest represent today and how will it serve us tomorrow? It's time to update our crest. This isn't a decision we've taken lightly. We love our crest. It's iconic. It stood us through unforgettable triumphs and testing times, but it was created in a different era. So essentially what they're saying here is the crest is a nightmare. It's a nightmare to put on merchandise. It's a nightmare to produce. It's a nightmare for the kit sponsors. It's a nightmare for the kit makers. It's just generally a nightmare and it's outdated. Now, of course, supporters need to have their say in this. And I think if we do change our crest, I think it's down to the supporters. They get a choice in what it looks like because owners, they come and go. Managers, they come and go. Players, they come and go. Supporters last forever. So I hope if they do change the crest, they've got to have a wide and sensible discussion with the supporters. I think it's no coincidence that we don't get our badges stitched on the shirt anymore. It's no coincidence because it's an absolute nightmare to do. So I understand it from a production point of view. Now, for me, this needs to have a huge impact on Newcastle United. It's not going to impact what we do on the pitch, but if we're going to change it and we're going to make this commitment, it has to have a serious but big impact off the pitch. And I'm talking the global stage. It needs to make us more recognizable on the global stage. That's the only way I'll accept this, that they can guarantee that it is going to impact us financially, merchandise-wise, sponsorship-wise on the global stage, because sponsorships will probably look at our badge and be like, we're not getting involved in that. Like, it's too much work for us, it's too much hassle. Let's go to a club badge that just needs less time, less work, less efficient, more efficiency, that kind of situation. So I've had a look at our past club crests, and these are them all. Now, if you look at 1969, 1976, it's just kind of a difficult one to make. Now, if you look at 1976 to 1983, in my head, I've got a funny feeling that's the type of, not exactly the same design, but in terms of the shield and making it more simplistic to put on a kit, that's exactly what they would be looking for. I quite like 1983 to 1988, but I kind of feel like we're going to get something like 1976 to 1983. That's my personal opinion. I'm not saying it's going to be identical, but I think it's going to be a round shield and it's going to have a magpie with black and white inside, Newcastle United Football Club around the outside, because 1988 to present, they don't like that. Sponsorship deals, you've probably got Adidas saying in Newcastle United, let's change this badge. But you know the Public Investment Fund wants to change everything. They want new stadium. They want new training ground. So if this was coming, I heard, and I don't know how true this is, they wanted to win a trophy with the older badge before they changed it. And now that we've won a trophy, this news has come out. So it kind of made us think, I kind of believe it now. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts, because would you be accepting of a badge change? Because you look at all the teams that have changed, and here's just two examples that have went into that shield identity because it's simplistic, it's easier to put on merchandise, it's easier to design, and it's just a very noticeable, simplistic design. You look at Man City's change. They had a similar badge to what we had in terms of design-wise. Now, they've got their shield, and I've got some feeling that's what it's going to look like. Even West Ham have changed theirs into a more of a shield light, so that's what I'm expecting from Newcastle United. So I want to hear from you guys. Would you be accepting of this? For me personally, I think the fans have got to have a major say. You can't do a change like this without the fans, in my opinion. I mean, I haven't looked on social media yet what people are saying, so I don't know if it's negative, positive. I've got no idea. But for me, that badge is iconic. I love it. Maybe we can just modernize that badge, do something with it, tweak it a little bit, maybe just make it a more simplistic version of that badge. I don't know how you do that, but I'm sure there's designers out there that could do that. So maybe just have a few examples, show some fans, but a large group of fans. I don't want the easy yes man fans. I want proper diehard. Maybe everybody that's got a season ticket will get an email. This is what we're doing. This is our ideas. Get a lot of feedback. As long as it's a wide proportion of fans, then I'm happy. If it's just a small group of fans that they've handpicked, I'm not so sure about that. It's got to be a wide proportion of random fans, in my opinion. Just season ticket holders. You'll have their email address. You'll have their details. Just get in touch with them, all of them. I mean, I probably speak for the majority here. This has been our badge throughout our lifetime, and I wouldn't want it to change, to be honest. If I'm perfectly honest, if I had a choice, I would keep it exactly how it is. And to the sponsorships, to the kit makers, I'd just be like, deal with it. This is our badge. This represents us. This is Newcastle United. That's exactly what I would be saying. But look, I don't think we're going to be able to change our minds. So maybe if we look back at a retro badge, like that middle one in the graph, and just modernize that one, perhaps that would soothe the blow with fans. But I can guarantee, if I ask you now, if you had a choice to keep this badge or change this badge, I would say 9 out of 10 people would say keep this badge. In my opinion, that's just me guessing. I don't know. But I would love to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comments below. But it is a big, big change for the club. This is huge. This is huge because we've had this badge since 1988. And this is probably all we have known about Newcastle United. But I'm not surprised to see it coming. I'm absolutely not surprised because there's a lot of change on and off the pitch at Newcastle United, for the good and bad sometimes. And for me, I love this badge. I can't lie. I do. I just love it. But look, I understand the modern era. You've got Juventus changing their badge. You've had Man City. You've had Arsenal changing their badge. Liverpool, West Ham, Chelsea. They've all changed their badges. So look, if we're to move with the times, this was coming. It was absolutely coming. And now that we've won a trophy, if what I was told was right, then I've got no surprise that this has been announced now. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Don't forget to drop us in the below. But as you all know, looks like Antonio Cordero is going to be joining Newcastle United this summer. But it looks like he will be going out on a loan to Ajax. Now, I don't know if this is set in stone, and I don't think it's set in stone yet because I'm not in the know. I don't know people that work at Newcastle United. I've worked for Premier League clubs, but funny enough, Newcastle United is not one of them. I had an opportunity when Dan Ashworth was there, but then he left, so it got fizzled out. But I do know a lot of people that work in Amsterdam. I've actually got more connections at Ajax than probably any other club. So I reached out to a couple of people and I sent them this tweet and I said, look, is it true? They said, yes, they have open discussions, but it's not set in stone and it's still at the early stage. So a lot can still go wrong because there's a lot of decisions still to make. Now, for me personally, I think this would be a perfect environment for him for a couple of reasons. Ajax tick a lot of boxes. They give you a chance. He's a youth product and he needs an opportunity. They've got vast amount of experience in developing youth on and off the pitch. So the tournament of good people, never mind good footballers. So that's a good positive to have with Ajax. And also, they're one of their big dogs in their league. You don't want to send them to a team that's about to get relegated or in the relegation zone or favourites to go down. Because what you'll do there is you won't be able to develop on these patterns of play, and you'll spend most of his game defending. You want him to get on the ball and really build up his confidence, learn the game a bit better by getting on the ball, opening up patterns of play, driving to his opponent, being direct, because that is exactly what Antonio Cordero does. He's exactly what we like in a winger, what Eddie Howe likes in a winger. He's tall, like Anthony Gordon. He's direct and play both sides, and he works tremendously hard off the ball. So if I was to pick a Newcastle United youngster, maybe to develop, it would probably be him. So I feel like they've made the right profile choice for a winger, but he's not ready to hit the ground running at Newcastle United, in my opinion. So a loan probably would suit him, and Ajax would suit him because Ajax tick a lot of boxes. They've got a nice blend of experienced and youth in their side, so you can have a mix of both. They play with wingers and they want their wingers to express themselves. That's exactly what he does. You'll get European experience because Ajax are about to qualify for the Champions League, so that's a bonus. And then finally, sorry if you heard that noise, it was just me dog jumping off my bed. But finally, you'll see a lot of the ball, and that's what you want. When you're picking loan deals, you want him to go to a club where he's going to see a lot of the ball, where he can set up patterns of play, where he can learn the game with the ball at his feet. And that's exactly what we want for Antonio Cordero. So Ajax does fit a lot of the boxes, but there are a lot of stuff to be ironed out before he goes out on loan. So I'm not saying it's going to happen, but Ajax are interested in loaning him, and we're interested in loaning him to Ajax. So there's positives there, but there are still a lot of things to iron out. Now, if I'm a loan manager, if I'm Shola Amayobi, the first and only thing I would be guaranteeing is his playing time. You want him to play minutes. So what I would be saying is, we'll give you Ajax an extra 500,000 or whatever, 250,000, if you guarantee him once he reaches 30 starts or so many minutes, whatever it might be, we'll pay you 500,000. So Ajax have now got an incentive to play him. That's exactly what should be happening, because I know this is not happening in Newcastle United, and it frustrates us because when you send a player out on loan, you want them to play. They've got no incentive to play your player unless they're desperate. Now, Ajax have got a good winger out on loan at the minute. He scored 7 goals, 6 assists for Dordrecht in the Dutch league, and he's going back to Ajax, so they're going to prioritise him. So we need to think of a way getting Cordero minutes. We don't want him to be a rotational player. We don't want him to be somebody off the bench as somebody that can come on and change a game. We want him starting games. We want him playing minutes. We want him getting some experience. And the only way you do that is by giving Ajax an incentive to playing him. And that's by money. Everything in football is generated and evolved by money. So give Ajax an incentive, send them to Ajax, because they know how to develop players, good environment, they've got a nice blend of experience and youth, and they play with wingers. And that's important. Their style of play is important, because if we send them to a club that plays with wing backs, then it's absolutely pointless. You may as well send them to the under-21s. But I hope we don't just send them to the under-21s. I hope we do loan him out if we feel he's not ready for Newcastle United at the moment. But it looks like he is coming to Newcastle United, because there's a lot of talk, and Fabrizio Romano is already given the here we go. So it does look like he's arriving. I'm happy about his arrival. He got another assist the other night. He's been thriving at the moment. So let's continue that trajectory. Let's continue building his confidence, making him into a better player. And the only way you do that is by playing games. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Are you happy to see Newcastle United's crest evolve into something like this? Or do you want to keep it as it is? Let me know in the comments below. But look, I understand it. I get it. Moving with the times. But boy, it just doesn't. I don't know. I would have to see the design before I make my final decision. But right now, I love our crest. I can't lie. I think it's beautiful. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And hopefully, actually, I will be having a Chelsea against Newcastle preview out tonight. So keep an eye out for that. And until next time, away the lads.